Okay. All right. So now I will demo to you question number 3. In this question number 3 is actually to create function in MATLAB. Okay, this is the code given to you, right? In your Prelab2 lab sheet, you can see the code is actually this part and also this part. It actually have two parts of the code, all right? So if you can recall what have you learned in computer programming subject, for the topic of function, there are 3 elements in function, which is function call, function definition, and function prototype. All right. Function prototype is optional. It doesn't mean that it's compulsory. Function prototype is not compulsory to be in the program. Okay. The compulsory element that should be in the program, if you want to implement the function, you must have function call and also function definition. But before that, you must know what is the purpose of having function in the program. Okay, that one you need to recall back what have you learned in the computer programming subject. Okay, all right. So in this program, it provides to you the MATLAB code, the two part, the function definition and the function call. In this function definition, it contains two parts. The first part is the first line of function definition, and the second and third line here is actually the function body. Okay, function body contains, or function body must has the execution of the uh, of the of the function. Okay, the statement what you need to execute for the function, right? So in this case, it's a little bit different. Different in terms of syntax between what you have learned in computer programming. Let's say in computer programming, you learn how to use function by using C++ or C programming language. But in MATLAB, the syntax is different to implement the function. Okay, so in MATLAB, the name of the function is actually maxmin. Okay, the maxmin is the name of the function. The x here is the value required from the function call. Okay, this is the input for the function. And then a equals to max x. A is another variable, b is another variable, max is another function. Max here is another function which is a built-in function. That built-in function is actually a function that comes together with the software. Okay, the min here is actually the min function, which is also built-in function. Okay, max and min is these two are built-in function that comes together with the software. So markmin here is actually the function that you as a programmer created for your program, right? So the function is, the name is markmin. It require an input of x. Okay, it will do this function will do return the value of max and return the value of min. The value of max from the array x will be stored in the A, and the value of min of value x here will be stored in B. Okay, this function will return a value of A and B to the caller. All right, so this is the code for the function call, right? So in this case, as you can see here, it's not W1 W1 dia sepatutnya W1 W2, right? W1 and W2 equals to markmin. This is the value of x that will be passed to this function. Okay, this is the value of x that will be passed to this function. Right, this is the name of the function. that will be called by the compiler. Okay, and then this value A and B, A will be a value from A here will be stored in W1, and the value for B here will be written to W2 here. Okay, so this is the theory of the function in MATLAB. Okay, how it will be performed in the MATLAB. But how you want to implement it in the MATLAB software here? Okay, for you to implement function in the program, you cannot use command window here. Okay, you cannot use the command window to execute the function definition, to put the function definition here. Okay, so what you need to do, memang you perlu gunakan M file, right? So you need to provide the M file in order for you to give the function definition, right? So let's say here, this is another script file that I added into my program here. So we type all this into this editor. Okay, keyword function, followed what is the output. So the output here, I name it as A and B. This is the assignment operator, which is markmin, will be the name of the function. Okay, and this markmin function will receive a value of array X. Okay, and then and to indicate the function block. Okay, between the function, the first line, and the and here is the function body. So you provide the function body. Okay, A here is to receive the maximum value from the input X. Okay, and B here is to get the minimum value from the input X. Okay, right. So if you're done with the code for this function, then please save it, okay, with the main function. Okay, with the main function. All right. So let's say I want to save this. Right. With let's say my main function is Prelab2 question 1. So I save it in this in the same folder. So the name is markmin. Don't change it because MATLAB require the same name to recall to call the function. Okay, save. All right. So now, where to put the call statement here? So you need to open your main file. Let's say your main file is question 1. So maybe the code to function call is at the end of this line. Let's say I want to put the function call after this. So let's say this is the main file. Okay, so I want to provide the function call to the file markmin. So I'll say that the max value will be returned to W1. The min value will return to W2. Okay, and then where do I get this value? From markmin function. Okay, the X value is maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. The array of integer number. Okay, right. So if you only provide this, okay, if you only provide this line of code, and you try to run the function, you only get the graph of the figure 1. There is no output for this part. Okay, if you look at the command window, there is no also output from this part. Okay, so what you need to do is by provide the code to display the value of W1 and then display the value of W2. How to do that? So you use display, and what is the value that you want to display? Okay. This is the code to display the value of W1. Okay. Then same thing, display W2. This is to display the value of W2. Okay. So I close this one. I clear this so that you can see the output. Okay. So then run. So now you get the figure for the question number 1 here, but then you got also the display W1 and display W2 from the command window here. Okay, W1 is 3, W2 is 1. Is it correct? The maximum value is 3 and the minimum value is 1. Okay, so W2 is represent mean value, while W1 is represent max value. Right. So far, do you have any question?
No, doctor.
Boleh ke? Okay.
Boleh.
Boleh Fika? Alright.
Boleh.
Thank you. So there's another way to show another way to do this. Let's say this is too long, so maybe you want to cut it off to make it short. Let's say you want to produce this X there, so maybe you can provide X at above before the code. Okay, and then try again. Okay, we'll produce the value, right? So it still can produce you the value over there. Okay. All right. So we settle with question number 3. You want to practice anything? Let's say here we want to change max, maximum, and here we want to change minimum. If you change this maximum and minimum, make sure you change here also. Okay, W1 here is actually maximum and W2 is actually minimum. Okay, so before we go to the execution, make sure you clear the command window. Okay, then try to run again. So now you will get the maximum is still 3 and the minimum is still 1. If you want to change the list of data here, let's say this is 20, this is -3. So should be the program will produce the maximum with 20 and the display for the minimum should be -3. So if you try to execute this, right? So the maximum is 20, right? The maximum is 20, so betul dah. And the minimum is -3. So, right. So the code is provide you with the correct output. You need to try with a few sample of data before you can conclude that your code is actually correct or produce you with the expected output. Okay. Okay, what happens if you try to call markmin2? Okay, in this case, markmin.n is actually This markmin, the earlier function is named as markmin, but here you mistakenly type the name as markmin2. So you can try run the code, tengok sama ada dia produce the result ke tak. Okay, it can produce the results up to line 11 here. Okay, but for line 15 to line 18 here, it will produce the error here. It state that unrecognized function or variable markmin. So maknanya you kena tengok dekat mana kod tu yang silap. So kalau kat sini dia check, dia kata the error is on the markmin2. So double check whether the name is correctly spelled or not. Okay, so in this case, this is not correct. So you just change give the correct name. Okay. Right. So ada soalan?
No, Doctor.